All right. Welcome back to the Breaker Bros. Tonight we're going to go over the defensive ends, running backs, linebackers, and safeties to kind of finalize the, review of the prospects before the NFL draft. But
yeah, just like a couple of high school students cramming for the exam, right? Although we didn't look at any corners, so don't expect us to draft any corners in any mock drafts, right?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did go for a corner at some point, because I mean, a lot of it depends on. Oh my God, I can't think of his name, but it was a safety that we drafted that we converted to a corner. I can't think of his name.
Daxton Hill.
Well, yeah, Dax. If he's not able to start the season, I think I could see them drafting a corner at some point.
Well, I mean the Bengals have so many needs, and I think that their needs are most acute with the players that weigh the most. So I would say corner. Yeah, everybody could use a good corner, but really, I want the Bengals to draft big guys.
Yeah, and I guess starting off with the big guys, I mean, according to PFF, there's a lot of draftable edge players between the rounds of, I guess.
Well, confirmed by us, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Dare I say we watched film. We watched YouTube highlights on all these guys, so we at least know a little bit about what they look like and how they play. And yeah, I mean, looks like there's a lot of draftable guys. I mean, I think we focus primarily on top 100 type players, and the list for edge rushers was the longest. I mean, with close to 20, 1/5 of the top 100 is going to be edge rushers, according to PFF. So it's a need for, not just the Bengals. Every team needs edge rushers. You can never have enough guys that can get after the quarterback. So I guess we looked through it and we kind of highlighted the guys we wanted to talk about. And first on the list is Shamar Stewart. What do you want to say about good old Shamar?
Yeah, it was interesting because I've seen a few mocks where people have mocked Stewart to the Bengals. Didn't really think of anything because I was really high on Nolan early on and Jihad Campbell, and then the more I start watching film on Stewart, he seems to be the most obvious pick if he's going to be there. I think he's actually kind of underrated in terms of PFF rankings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at his size, 290, 6'5", I think he's huge.
Yeah, I mean, he's like an old school Bengals defensive end. I mean, I remember when Marvin Lewis was drafting guys, like 6'5" was like the height requirement to play defensive end for the Bengals. So he's kind of a throwback to that.
I think, unfortunately, for the Bengals, or at least for Bengals fans, I think for the Bengals, the play is to go for a defensive end early. Because, I mean, with the situation with Hendrickson, I feel like that's kind of their play, to go for a playmaking defensive end. Because I feel like if Stewart's there, to me, he seems to be the obvious pick because he could play defensive end. He could also swing inside and play defensive tackle. So I feel like he could actually fulfill a couple needs for the Bengals. But he also looks like he could be a pretty dominant pass rusher. And I feel like if he's not there, I could also see where Pierce and maybe Mike Green could be other options. But it just depends. Or I'm sorry, Pierce or Green could be the other options because I can see them being like premier pass rushers. But those to me seems like those would be the obvious choices in the first round. But then I guess the next guy, I feel like you're pretty high on Landon Jackson.
Yeah, another big guy. I don't remember much about him except that he was massive.
Yeah,
I have
6'7",
massive. I say he's a good tackler in my notes. So, yeah, I mean, the thing that jumps out to me is this would be the draft to trade down because like there are guys that I think can play, and I don't think the Bengals need to hit home runs on defense to improve. I think they just need to like fill some spots. So I really like the idea of them picking up extra second and third round picks because I think there are lots of players on defense in particular that they could draft and plug into the rotation and improve the team. So that being said, usually when there's a lot of trade down or guys worthy of second round picks that can help, then it makes it harder to trade down, right? But one can hope.
Yeah, and I think Landon Jackson, I feel like he also had a little bit of buzz at the Senior Bowl during some practices and maybe even during the game. But yeah, he seems like a pretty good candidate if they were to trade down in the first to get a later first round pick and acquire a few extra, hopefully second or third round picks, because that seems to be where the cream of the crop of prospects is. If you can pick up an extra second or third rounder, I mean that could be a difference of adding another starter or two, you know. So especially in this class, because I definitely see if depending on how the board falls, and I feel like they can get starters all the way through the third round.
Yeah,
things fall the right way.
Maybe even into the fourth round.
I guess another guy you think that's severely underrated, JT.
Yeah. Well, severely, I guess. PFF has him as a second rounder. I like him as a first rounder. I mean, it's not that dramatic, right?
No.
I just feel like overall, like PFF is sleeping on Ohio State players. Like I think that they don't have a lot of like the, you know, top 5, top 10 type talent that you're used to seeing at defensive end, right? Like Ohio State used to pump out like, you know, someone in the top 5 at that position. But I like JT Tuimalau and I like Jack Sawyer as guys that I think could help the Bengals. So I think they're both being slept on a little bit.
Yeah, and I think there would be pretty good options in the second round, especially if they went a different direction in the first round. So, you know, if they get that defensive tackle, which I think there's several good options, potentially safety in the first round or maybe a linebacker. So if they don't get that edge early, I feel like these two players in the second round would be a pretty good option. And then I feel like they could even go further into the draft because there's so many options that you can pick between the first and second round that you would figure maybe one or two of these players or maybe even more will slide into the third. So if you see any of these players in the third, I feel like that would be pretty good value. But I feel like the ones that we highlighted seem to be the players that would probably, at least to us, would fit with the Bengals and what they're doing the best. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of great options, especially with defensive end. But I also feel like the play would be to get the defensive end in the first round, especially if you're trying to leverage that against Hendrickson. Because I could see where he could try to hold out. So you want to get that premier pass rusher earlier. That way it's less pressure that you have to extend Hendrickson and meet his terms. So not to say like you want to deal with that, but it just seems like a very Bengals thing to do, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
guess,
we don't want that to happen.
No. In the perfect world, they draft best player available, not based off of what's going on outside of the draft, but we'll see. But I guess you want to go to linebacker next, or
sure. Flip over to linebacker. So I'll let you talk about the linebackers because I didn't really notice much.
Yeah, I feel like if they Jihad Campbell, I guess would be my third option in the first round because right now I think it's Stewart, which I feel like people are sleeping on or have underrated in general, and then Nolan would be my second, but Campbell would be my third because I feel like he would be pretty dynamic as a linebacker. He can rush, he can play coverage pretty good. He's a pretty good tackler, and I feel like if you pair him with Wilson, I feel like that would really flip the linebacker situation, and I feel like we'd have two pretty good playmakers at linebacker. And like I said, the cool thing with Campbell is that he can blitz a little bit, so I think that would pair well with Golden. And then, you know, I mean, I feel like the thing about Jalen Walker, I know we haven't really talked about him, I feel like we felt like he wouldn't be that great of a fit with the scheme that the Bengals play, but I
Hmm.
also think it's one of those situations where he probably won't be there for the Bengals to pick. But I guess he could be another option. But if they weren't to get a linebacker in the first round, I think another good option would be the second round. Was it Schwartzinger?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he seems like he could do a little bit of everything. He seems like a playmaker. Again, another player that you could pair well with Wilson. Um, it wouldn't necessarily be my first choice in the second round, but depending on how the board falls, I wouldn't be mad at it because again, I think he's another playmaker. He could be a starter. Um, and if they don't decide to go for a linebacker in the first or second round, I can see where they could wait all the way until the fifth or sixth round to get maybe more of a depth piece, not
Hmm.
necessarily a starter, but yeah, I think there are some options earlier. I don't think the Campbell seems to be maybe the most realistic one. Because I do have a feeling some of the other players that I guess people have known that they're trying to target in the first round may not be there, as in like Nolan or even Kelvin Banks Jr. I feel like he might go higher than what people expect because his versatility. But yeah, I feel like linebacker could be in play early on. It really just depends on how the board plays, and I feel like those would be the better options as far as like fits with the Bengals.
Okay. Then on to halfback.
Yeah, and I feel like with the running backs, I feel like it's a pretty decent class. I didn't really think going in, I guess to the draft season that running back would be, would have this many options. I would say, but the ones that we really liked seemed to be the ones that would be in the second or third round, most likely second, because I feel like the ones that we highlighted, we felt all had second round talent, or maybe even third round.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I hope the Bengals don't pick a running back as their third pick. Like to me, I could see getting a running back if they either in the fourth round or if they pick up an extra second or third round pick. But as it stands, to me, they need linemen. But that
yeah,
being said, I think we like both of the guys from Ohio State, and then I guess one guy that I think we both really liked was the guy from Kansas State, DJ Giddens.
hmm
He was good size, really fast guy. Could catch out of the backfield, so he looked like a really good fit for the Bengals. And then PFF has him ranked as a third rounder and a third round guy. So I mean, maybe he slips to the fourth round. It makes sense, or maybe the Bengals pick up an extra pick at the end of the third round, then you can snag him. I like that as a possibility.
yeah. DJ Giddens in the fourth round would be amazing. Actually, like I would like that a lot. I don't really see him there in the fourth round, and
Well,
I
I
also feel
mean,
like
I
running back
remember
could be a
last
fifth or
year,
sixth
like
rounder.
I had guys clear second round picks, and they were getting picked 2-3 rounds later than I thought they would. So you never know, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
so we'll see. But you want to talk about safeties?
Yeah, we can go into safeties.
Okay. And then I guess you highlighted 3 safeties that you really liked.
Well, I feel like Starks could be an interesting choice in the first round. I don't think that would be their main target. I think he would be like the last option at 17.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like him because I just don't like guys that are slow. And I just don't think he's fast enough to be like a premier pick like that. Like second round, yeah, but I mean 4-5 just doesn't do it for me.
yeah, but I mean, I just feel like his playmaking ability, like safeties, I think you can kind of get away with not being like elite speed because you play so far in the backfield. It's
Yeah,
more
but I
about being able to
mean,
read the defense or read the offense and
to
be in the
me,
right
if
position.
Ransom's a third round pick, I'd much rather pick Ransom in the third round than Starks in the first round.
Well, yeah, because I think ideally, like where you want the best value for the Bengals, it's most likely going to be defensive end or
Right.
possibly defensive tackle. I think
Or
one of those,
offensive tackle
possibly
slash
offensive
guard.
tackle. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that to me seems like the way the draft is going. Like I would almost think that the first round pick probably should be offensive line, and then
I feel like that's a second round pick
yeah,
because like that to me is the biggest drop off between the first and second round is the premier pass rusher versus like a quality starting offensive lineman. Because like if you
hmm
go from the first to second round, I don't think there's that much of a drop off if you're looking at like a starting guard.
okay,
But if you're looking at the path, like that to me was the biggest difference was like the high end guys for defensive end. There was like noticeable difference to like those actual second round, third round grade. Well, I say it with grain of salt because I would like the Ohio State guys in the second round, and maybe there's a few
yeah,
other
and I like
players.
I like that guy from Arkansas, or maybe Shamar Stewart slips to the second round.
I think people have him underrated severely. Like I think he might actually get picked before the Bengals. I don't think he.
Yeah,
May,
no,
I don't,
I wouldn't be surprised because he's such a good athlete, and I don't know that there's a real knock on him as a player. Like I just think that I don't know. I think PFF just got a little too technical in their grading. You want to say anything more about these safeties, or you just want to start doing some mocks?
Yeah, I think the main thing with the safeties that we have highlighted is that I think they all look good on film, and I think to me they all have like pretty much second round talent, and I think
hmm
it's just a matter of like which one is probably going to fall to the third to the Bengals, and I feel like if one of those three are in the available in the third, then it's like kind of like an obvious choice that you would go with one of them, and I think that's pretty much why we have them highlighted. And there's a chance that all three of them may not even be there in the third round, but I don't know. It just it feels like again this draft is really loaded in the second or third round. So I feel like there's going to be a whole bunch of players that are going to fall,
hmm
whether it's the running back or safeties or defensive ends or defensive tackles. Like there's just so many of them that are around the same level that you should be able to find one of these guys that's going to fit your system. And I like all three of them in the third round. Obviously, even though we have them marked as a second round talent for most of them, or at least I do. I do feel like one of them should be available. And then if it comes down to that ransom guy, I feel like for me, he'd be more of a fourth round pick. Like, I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
Really,
I'd rather have him. If you told me I could have him in the fourth round, I would do that over any other option.
and that could be the play.
So
That would make a lot of sense to me too.
yeah,
Um,
if you could predict the future,
mhm. So I was thinking maybe each one of us can do our final mock before next week, before the actual NFL draft.
oh, what do you mean? Like now or at some other time?
Like now, yeah.
Okay, so I will run it for you, and then you do all the picks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or and then you can do yours too.
Okay, all right. I'll let you go first
All right, cool.
since it was your idea.
All right, let's do it.
All right,
I'm
you
gonna,
ready to go?
yeah.
Okay, what's our rule on trades? Are we allowed to trade or no trades?
Yeah, you could trade.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Can you see if Shamar Stewart is available? Because if he is, I would like to select him.
Okay. Let's see. Edge.
He
Yes,
is.
he's
All right.
available.
All right. I will take Stewart with the 17th
Okay.
pick.
You don't want to look at trades?
Sure.
See, you got the 22 pick.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just gonna draft the player. I'm gonna go with Stewart. I feel pretty
Okay.
comfortable with Stewart. Damn, I just saw Donovan Jackson. Like ideally, I would have really liked Donovan Jackson in the second round.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you filter out the guards? Can you scroll down a little bit? All right. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Ratledge. See, look, there's Kuba.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the third round. Can you scroll down a little bit? Keep going. It's Ransom. Can you do the tight ends real quick? Fannin. And then, I'm sorry, can you do the safeties real quick? $89. Wow, they're rated higher, actually. Okay. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm actually going to select Fannin with the third round pick. Not sure PFF is going to hate that, but
I'm gonna smoke you on the grade.
okay. Can you filter out the defensive tackles? Robinson. All right, can I? Ooh, Walker's still there, huh? 76. Okay. Can I look at the guards? Or no. I want to look at the safeties.
You're looking at safeties and defensive interior.
Okay. All right, can you filter it back to all? Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll take Etienne here. And then I'm gonna hope Walker's still there. Which I think I just saw him got it picked. Oh god. That did not work out in my favor. Oh, okay. We're still Ty Robinson though. Keep going. Keep going. Actually, can you filter out the defensive tackles? Keep going. Yeah, I'll go with Ty Robinson. That's fine. Oh, but maybe I can get Kandra, which I think he's probably already been picked.
Yep.
Fraser and Slater. That's interesting. Can you go back to all? What? Denzel Burke is still there?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I was actually thinking about picking up another offensive lineman, but the fact that Burke is still there seems kind of crazy.
Okay. Does that mean you're going to draft him?
No. I'll still take the best interior lineman. I'm actually going to go with that Jackson guy. Because I feel like when we looked him up, we really liked him. He was just from a small school.
Jackson Slater.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that we did not like him.
I feel like we did. Can we
Let's
check?
see. Yeah, I'll check.
If not, then I'll switch to Slater or Frazier because I know we like him at least. Or at
Did
least
we
I
look at a lot more guards? Oh yeah, we looked at all the guards. Jackson Slater. So they had him as and you said he was a 6-rounder. So I guess you liked him. And then I had him as I guess we did like him.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Slater then.
Okay.
Because I feel, if I remember correctly, he looked good on film. It was just like the competition, so it was hard to like. But I feel like in the 6th round, and just based off how the Bengals roster is currently, like I feel like they kind of have to double dip on offensive linemen. I think their preference is at least get one of the offensive linemen that's a little bit more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably where I could have done a little bit better with the offensive linemen.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your grade. I know
Yeah,
you're
I'm sure it's
get
gonna be
bad grade.
crazy, but
C.
It's not bad.
C is not bad. Bottom 12% of Bengals drafts.
That's interesting. I mean, I like it, but I can see the vision.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like they were a little harsh on this pick, but
Yeah,
whatever.
he dropped in like since we started it. He seemed to be rated much higher when we first looked at him, and then
Yeah, I guess
slid.
right, because like when we first looked at him, what did PFF have him as? They had him ranked 213 in March. They dropped him down 20 spots. I don't know. All right. Let's see if I can do better.
I think you got to hit that again. I think you deselected it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Okay. See who was picked. Oh, Shamar Stewart, 114. All right. I got 2 trade offers. I could trade with the Ravens. Okay. So now I picked 27. Okay, let's see who got picked. Banks, Starks.
I still haven't seen Harmon though. Isn't that the defensive tackle you really like?
Harmon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Defensive interior. Oh, yeah, Derek Harmon. Pierce. Well, I guess I did like Pierce as an edge rusher. I liked Harmon. I like Kenneth Grant. Did Kenneth Grant get picked? Oh, yeah, he went 16. Let's see, who else did I like? I liked Harmon, and I liked... I just don't have the conviction to pick someone that's ranked so low. But I'm just going to do it. It's my pick, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the grade. I guess you could have went with Landon Jackson too.
Yeah, did he get picked? I was hoping he would. Donovan Jackson. Landon Jackson. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I like JT Tuimoloau. Let's see what we got on offensive tackle. What about guard? And so I think I'm going to go with Tuimoloau.
I think you like that Jonah too. Is he still
Jonah,
there?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I might snag him later. I think I'll just go with the guard. Where'd he go? There he is. Relich. Okay. Makuba, that wouldn't be a bad pick.
No.
Or Ransom.
There's DJ.
Yeah. I pick again at 119. Yeah, I'm going to go with the safety. Even though I would say that I liked Ransom a lot. I like fast guys. And I like him. So just go with it.
4-4. I think DJ's gone. Did you get your edge guy yet?
I think so.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
Interior edge guard. So
I feel like Emory Jones could be interesting later on.
Emory Jones. Who's that?
Yeah. He's the tackle out of LSU.
Oh, okay.
But it might be too early for that.
Yeah. Savion Jones. Did we look at him?
I think so.
I think that's our old one. This is all screwed up. All right. I'm taking too much time. I'm going to lose my pick. You can tell we stopped looking at 100. I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, I guess you could go running back at this point.
Yeah.
I know there was like a little bit of buzz for Blue out of Texas, but I liked Etienne. I feel like his film was pretty good because he seemed like he had that explosive speed. You still have 3 picks left.
Yeah.
Did you get a linebacker yet?
No. I either need to do it this pick or next pick.
You think when's the next pick? I feel like maybe Kaiser might not be a bad pick because I feel like he's a 150. 149. I feel like that Tyler Show or whatever, I feel like he might get drafted like by the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
Backup quarterback. Wait, was that no, there's one more pick. Okay. All right, what grade do you think you got?
I'm gonna go with. I'll probably get the same as you. I'll probably got C as well.
Nah, I think you just got to
so
B because I think you're more aligned with the ratings. So I think you got to B at least.
What? They're ragging on me for picking a guard over Cam Scatabo? Brother. I mean, come on. That's some bullcrap there.
Hey, that's
A
pretty
minus. Good. All right, we'll take it.
They just didn't like the Georgia picks.
For that's whatever weird.
Reason. Yeah.
That is just weird, man. Like, I don't know how you could get a bad grade for picking a guard when the Bengals need a guard. You know what I mean?
Technically, they need 2. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just like, so I picked a guard over a halfback, and I got a decent halfback in the 4th round. I mean, because the tailback is going to be this, you know what I mean? Not going to be the starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess, are we going to try to stream on Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, cool. All right. We'll see how close we can get with our picks. But I'm definitely looking forward to the draft. And then I'm looking forward to the schedule release next month. I think it's going to be
nice.
Next month. All right. Was there anything you wanted to add or?
No.
All righty. Well, peace.